The good folks over in the Android x86 project have created an ISO image for Android which runs as a VirtualBox virtual machine. There are releases for a variety of Android platforms including KitKat, Marshmallow and Nougat. Let's see how we set up the KitKat VM. The operating system can be downloaded from the site shown. This can then be installed by creating a virtual machine and loading the ISO image in the Virtual Optical Disk Reader. Let's set this up now. I'll click the New button, I'll call the virtual machine Android, and I'll select a Linux 2.6, 3.x, 4.x 32-bit image. I'll increase the memory to 1 GB. I'll create a virtual hard disk now, VDI image, fixed size, and I'll reduce it to 6 GB. This takes a moment to be created. I've now got a virtual machine created and I need to load the operating system. To do that, I'll select Storage. I'll click on the empty CD icon, and by clicking on the CD icon to the right of IDE Secondary Master, I can choose a virtual optical disk file, and I'll select my Android x86. The Android ISO image now appears in the storage tree at the left. I'll press OK. And then I'll start the virtual machine to begin the operating system installation. OK, I'll install an Android x86 to hard disk. The installation starts. I need to create modify partitions and create a new partition from free space. I'll make it a primary partition and use all the space. I need to make it bootable and write it. OK, I can quit now and accept SDA1 as my VBox hard disk. I'll format it as an ext3 disk, confirm, and I'll install a bootloader grub. I'll skip the EFI grub too, and I'll skip making the system read-write. OK, Android x86 is successfully installed. I'll close the virtual machine down now. I'll remove the disk from the virtual drive. And I'll go to USB and add my Atheros wireless card so that we can then connect to Wi-Fi once we have the system running. OK, I'll restart the virtual machine now. And we have our Android x86 system running. I'll tap to the play button and start up. The VM now looks for networks and it's found them. I'll connect to my test network, entering the network password. OK, we're connected. OK, I've got a Google Mail account set up already. I'll enter that now. And I'll continue setting up the Android system with time and date. OK, we now have our Android operating in a virtual machine. There's a couple of things we need to do to be able to test on the Android VM using ADB. The first is to set up port forwarding. We do that at the VirtualBox Manager by selecting Network, Advanced, Port Forwarding, and adding a rule with the name ADB or anything else you might like, host port 5555 and guest port 5555. And we can now start the VM. OK, we're running. Let's check DevTools, Developer Options, and we can see USB debugging is set. We can now go back to our host system and connect using ADB. We can see the virtual machine is now active. Let's connect through the shell. Before we try to go into our data directory, we need to get SuperUser. We now have full access to the user applications. So, the Android x86 virtual machine offers another way to test applications.